monkey like Fritos. Road monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Road monkey, very simple man with big warm fuzzy secret heart. Road monkey like you. Road monkey like you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the Media Raptor, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Raptor Reviews. Today, I'm going to take a look at a 2017 movie that I had a lot of hopes for. And to be honest, I should have reviewed this a long time ago. In fact, after this review, there's going to be two other reviews of movies I probably should have reviewed a while ago. And one of them I actually did film a review for. I just thought it was an incredibly lazy, cliched, and rushed review. I didn't really give what I thought about the movie. I just said, oh, it sucks. Anyhow, today we're going to take a look at a 2017 sci-fi horror movie. You know, it occurs to me now, I probably shouldn't have to do this whole intro because you can just look up. In fact, you probably clicked on the thumbnail to watch the video. Whatever, you know what? We're talking about Alien Covenant. The movie everyone and their mom was excited for and everyone and their mom hated. Except me. Yeah, I know. It has a lot of stupid moments, and I will cover that. It gives the finger, not only gives the finger, but probably shoves its fist halfway up the entire franchise's sphincter, and I'm going to cover that. But at the end of the day, is it really that bad? I don't think so. So let's get the elephant out of the room. Let's talk about the Alien franchise as a whole now. So you guys, Alien Resurrection, I probably should have checked this before. 1 second. I'm really bad at this. Here's the thing, I don't script anything in my reviews. Even the sketches you'll see coming up, I completely improvise on the spot. This is the first technically Alien movie since Alien Resurrection. I'm just gonna check real quick, when the heck did Alien Resurrection came out? I think I know, but I want to make sure. Let's see. Sorry about this. Again, I really don't plan these ahead. I just felt like bringing this up. Here it is. Hang on. Alien Resurrection. They gave it 3 bones out of 4? 1997. Holy crap, it's been 20 years since we've had an actual Alien movie, if you don't count Prometheus. Which, this movie sure doesn't. And I'll cover that in just a second. But imagine this, guys. I want you to imagine what it's like to be a sci-fi fan. Alien and Aliens are 2 of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. Or at least widely considered to be 2 of the best. And even if you don't like Aliens, you have to admit, Alien is one of the scariest movies ever made. Not only that, it's one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made. So after 2 great movies, and then 2 sequels which had lesbian Ripley and human-alien hybrid creature thingies in a prison, and Ron Perlman being Ron Perlman, the one good part of Resurrection, because it's Ron Perlman. And the forever rumored Alien 5, which has now been completely cancelled. Imagine everyone's joy and expectations when the man himself, Ridley Scott, actually comes out and says, I'm making a new Alien movie, I'm writing it and directing it. Imagine what your expectations would be. 20 years, this guy has been making awesome movies. It's been 20 years, and he made 2 of the best movies, to me at least. Now, imagine your expectations when you finally go to the theater and you're expecting all your answers from Prometheus to be answered, and you're expecting tie-ins to Alien 1, 2, even 3 and 4, because that's what was promised. And imagine your reaction when none of that happens. Seriously, you want to know what this movie did to the Alien franchise? And I know it seems like I'm gonna be blasting this movie for the first half of the review, but that's kind of what I gotta do to get this out of the way. It took the Alien franchise. It took Prometheus. Technically, the timeline as it stands would be Prometheus, Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. That's how it would be. Got it? So it's saying that Prometheus never happened, the first Alien movie never happened, Aliens never happened, Alien 3 happened, Alien Resurrection sort of happened, but it's also saying Prometheus did happen simultaneously with Alien 3. It's also saying that Prometheus happened alongside Alien and Aliens. It's also saying Prometheus is in a completely another universe where the aliens didn't technically exist at that point. It's also saying that the connections to the Predator universe never happened. It's also saying that Alien vs. Predator 1 and 2 never happened, which makes sense because they were kind of an alternate universe. They didn't really tie into the franchises. They were just sort of cool movies. It's also saying that Alien happened simultaneously with Alien Resurrection, which makes no sense because Ridley died at the end of Alien 3, and that's what the word resurrection in the title was because they had to bring her back. And it's also saying that Aliens happened before Alien, which makes no sense because the ending of Alien is exactly where Aliens begins, so you can't start with that. And it's also saying, hey, guess what? We're gonna remake Alien while we're at it with that final suspenseful scene, but we're gonna make it a lot more action-packed because we can, and guess what else? It doesn't work! Seriously, the thing with this movie, if you think about it for more than a minute, it will piss you off. Okay, we're good? Got that all out? This movie's horrible for the Alien franchise. Not to mention, almost 30 to 40 years now of Alien comics. Fantastic stories, and some not as good, but I've seen some of the greatest stories featuring Alien and Predator happened in their comics. You want to know what I mean? I've read a Predator story that takes place on Treasure Island when the Predator teams up with Blackbeard to try and save him. I've read a comic where a predator finds a human child and refuses to leave him alone because he knows the innocent they can't hurt the young. So he tries to help this small child get home to his family. Alright? I've seen Alien stories where essentially the crew aboard the Prometheus are hit with a power outage and they were holding one alien. So the entire threat, there's no more than one alien the entire time. But you know what? It's one alien versus an entire ship. Alien Isolation, one of the scariest games ever made. Never happened, technically. Oh, and you want to know what else? Yeah, remember how Alien and Aliens and even 3 and 4 gave us one of the strongest, most awesome, independent female heroes ever, Ripley? You want to know what they did? It's been 30 years, almost 40 years now since the original Alien. You want to know what kind of female characters we have here? Dumb, stupid idiots who need to be saved by everyone and are too incompetent to understand anything even if it's right in front of their face. I'm talking like Winona Ryder levels of stupid from Alien Resurrection. Yeah. Okay, so now that that's done, let's talk about, I want to do something kind of different from what the other critics do. Let's pretend that Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and Prometheus never existed. Let's pretend, or we can pretend that Alien Covenant is its completely own universe. What if in this world, the other Alien movies never happened? Let's look at it that way. Let's look at it as in, the other movies never happened, or we're in a different film universe, like how there's the DC cinematic universe and the DC TV universe. Both have different characters and stories, but have similar characters such as Arrow and Flash. Let's think about it like that. Now on its own, Alien Covenant isn't actually that bad. Let's start with the story. Admittedly, it is a pretty weak story. It's an interesting idea, though. It's what about a colonization mission, essentially trying to find a new inhabitable planet after Earth has been kind of screwed over. By the way, we're kind of doing that. We need to stop. What happens, like, when they're going out, and all of a sudden they receive a distress signal. They actually don't immediately go, hey, let's go help them. Like, yeah, should we? In fact, it actually takes a bit for the story to get going because they're trying to be smart about it. They debate about it, they talk about it. In fact, they lose one of their team members at the very beginning, and it was a bit more emotional than I thought it would be. And the funny thing is, we never knew the guy. He had no lines in the entire movie. And when he dies, you kind of feel bad for his wife and for the rest of the team, because it seems like he was a really good guy. Granted, we don't get to know him, so we don't really, and the movie's smart enough to not hold on that for too long. So what happens is they end up going to this new planet, and it turns out that somehow there's wheat, clean water, and it's inhabitable. Hey, what could possibly go wrong? Also, they meet another character. One of the synths. I don't want to say it was Bishop, but like the type like him from Alien and Aliens. See, he's the only one on this entire planet, and he's kind of got a weird hobby. Excuse me a second. Sorry. Dissecting things. Yeah, I know that sounds weird and it kind of is, but he's fascinated with the way life works, which to me is a really cool idea because, well, he's a robot technically. And how cool is it that a robot wants to understand how creatures live? It's pretty cool. In fact, we could have a pretty awesome story just about the people who are stranded on the island after an attack by the Xenomorphs, I'll get to them in a second, how they have to survive and build a new civilization. That could be an awesome movie on its own. But what happens is it turns out this synth, I believe his name was David. Let's just call him Dave, because I'm lazy, and Dave's not here. Sorry. Turns out Dave is kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, in a way that, well, he wants to kill people, because, you know, robot superiority mainly, but also because he has these xenomorph eggs on this planet, and he wants to study them. And so now it becomes sort of a fight for survival, and they're trying to figure out, can they get off the island? How? Not the island. What is this? Gilligan's Island? Gilligan's Island meets Alien. I would pay to see that. Anyhow, and they're trying to figure out, how do we get off the planet? Can we survive? And what's really going on? Now, here's the thing. The characters, most of them at least, we don't really get to know, and therefore we don't have a lot of reason to care about them. Specifically, the main few characters, aside from one of them, Tex. Well, the guy played by Danny McBride. The reason why I liked him so much is they actually really gave him a good personality. He was the joking kind of guy who's also serious about his work, but at the same time, he's also the hope bringer. He does what he can to try and help people and doesn't want to leave anyone behind. Most of the other characters are kind of flat and lifeless and pretty stupid. You want to know what I mean? This is a spoiler, but I'm going to do it anyways. So at one point, Dave is talking to this guy. Let's name him Alfred. Sure, why not? I was reading Batman comics earlier. And he shows him the xenomorph egg, and the guy has his helmet off because they can breathe, and Dave says to Alfred, look at it, like lean close. And you know what Alfred does? You know I don't see anything? Seriously, the idiot, without thinking twice, leans forward towards an unknown and unidentified creature's egg and almost immediately gets face-hugged for it. Now you might say, hold on Raptor, didn't that happen in Alien? Why are you giving the golf clap here and not at that one? See, the first one, they were just truckers in space, essentially. They weren't trained for hostile situations. They weren't trained to know how to respond in situations like this. They picked up on a distress call and they went against their orders, and the guy who got face-hugged, it made sense for him to react that way because he didn't know what else it was. Anyhow, so the characters are pretty weak. Gotta give it that. There's a big twist at the end, and the movie, to its credit, it tries to downplay it. It tries to make you think like, wait, no, of course this is going to be the twist ending. And it goes, no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not. And then at the very end, they're like, ha, it was the twist ending, we got you! Even though 90% of theater goers are like, oh wow, totally didn't see that coming. Yeah, so there's that. I already had a huge rant on the continuity problems, and I want to talk about one more thing. And this is inexcusable, no matter how you look at it. The xenomorphs, the way they work is they do face hugger, then the chest burster, which is essentially just a lot. Hang on, I got a good example for this. Where'd I put that thing? Ah, here it is. It essentially comes out like this. Ironically, this looks a lot like a chest burster. It's a doorstop. My little cousin made it for me a while ago. It's supposed to be the worm from Star Wars Episode 5, you know, the one in the crater. But it comes out like, and then takes off, and then about an hour or two later, I'm just going to hold it here, it feels nice, it comes back as a fully grown xenomorph. Here's the thing. In this one, the chest burster comes out, and it's a tiny, tiny alien, like that big. But it's already got the head, the body, the tail, arms, and legs. Sure, I could buy the Nenomorphs, the ones that come out your back, doing that because they were a whole new species of xenomorph-type creatures. But not the actual xenomorphs. Anyhow, should probably move on and stop ranting about this. Oh, shut up. Anyhow, so, well, the writing's pretty bad. You know what is good about this movie? Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that now. The acting, for the most part. The acting, for the most part, is incredibly solid. I actually was pretty impressed. The last movie I saw Danny McBride in was, well, the last two movies I saw him in, one of them, he played a bottle of liquor, and the other one, he played a black bird that blew up. I'm talking about Sausage Party and Angry Birds, the movie. So, yeah. Most of the acting is really good. I don't remember most of the other actors, but they at least did a pretty good job. But you know what? Let's talk about what is hands down the best part of the whole movie, the special effects. Ridley Scott is known for making movies with good effects. And he's known for making scary looking effects too. The Xenomorphs, despite the fact they look kind of stupid coming out as a fully grown Xenomorph technically, and the Nenomorphs, the white things that come out your back, it was actually pretty disgusting, look fantastic. It's a mixture of puppets and CGI, which I'm really impressed by because you can't tell the difference. And unlike previous Alien movies, there are buckets of blood. And you know what? If you're a gore hound, like I kinda am, you may want to check out the movie just for that. Not only that, there is an awesome scene. It's kind of a send-up almost to classic horror cliches, where two people are naked in a shower. Don't worry, there's not that much nudity, just some boobies, which is good, I guess. And they're making out, and all of a sudden you see the alien head come in. Hang on. Imagine this is a xenomorph. Like they're making out, then you just see slowly come in, and then it disappears, and then it goes like this. And the tail comes up and impales them both, and then the mouth comes out. The mini mouth, they call it, comes out and kills them. Not to mention, there's an awesome scene where they actually use like a bulldozer essentially to kill a xenomorph by crushing it. And it looked amazing. Yeah, the makeup is amazing. The sets look beautiful. The score is really good. When I get down to it, can I recommend Alien Covenant? Yes and no. Here's the thing. If you're a fan of the Alien movies, you're going to want to watch it regardless. If you've never seen the Alien movies, go watch Alien and Aliens. Here's the thing. If you're going to watch Alien Covenant, don't expect Alien or Aliens. Don't even expect Alien 3 or 4. Expect something completely different. Shut your mind off, pretend the other movies never happened, and enjoy it for what it is. I enjoyed it for what it was. Granted, I really have to kind of be harsh on this movie because I was expecting a sequel to Aliens and all that. So I can only give it 2 raptor claws out of 4. I really want to give it higher, like at least 3. So here's what I'll do. Technically, when you compare it to the others, 2 raptor claws. On its own, 3 raptor claws. Is that fair? Are we all happy? No, of course you're not. You're the internet. You'll never be happy. Shut up! Yeah. So, yeah, this movie was kind of a disappointment. But there is some good news coming out of it. Well, good news and bad news. Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5, which would have been the final movie with Ripley, I forget the woman, Sigourney Weaver, which would have been the final one with her. That's how it ends. Like, it's not gonna happen. Good news, we might get to see District 10. And I meant to review that thing years ago. District 9 was amazing. So, maybe something good will come out of it. Anyhow, you guys, until next time, this is the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and I'll see all you guys around. Later!